Hey, everybody. It is 2 hours UTC on the 14th of February 2018, and you have stumbled upon Astronomy Daily Live. And this happens every single day at this time. This is when it starts. And we go for about an hour, sometimes a little bit longer, something like that. Definitely want to respect your time, but this is just a nice, friendly, casual gathering together of friends every single day. To get away from the TV and to get away from the news and just think about and talk about um, a a very, very large subject, uh, also a very, very small um, subject. And yeah, that subject is astronomy. And that's what we do here for an hour every single day. I think in the time that I've been doing this, and I think it's almost been a month, although really I'm not paying that much attention to that kind of stuff. It's still has the flavor of newness, so I'm still sort of paying attention to those kinds of things. After a while, it's all going to become a blur, and it's like, when did I start this? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Sometime a while ago. I don't know. It doesn't matter because when you're with friends and you're talking about a subject that you really really enjoy, um, time vanishes, right? Perception of time, at least, is just totally gone, totally gone. So yeah, glad you could stop in. I see I've got a couple of viewers already. I'm gonna go over here to my Linux machine, and I'm gonna stop that. Uncle Bill is already in the house, and it is for Uncle Bill. It is Ninja Night. It is Ninja Night. So uh, I think, and Uncle Bill, bet, I'll bet that that what you do is more common than what I do. Okay, what I do is I watch one one thing at a time. Pay attention to one thing at a time. If I uh, do more than that, oh, I don't know. I'm just not exactly the ninja type, I guess. But it sort of reminds me in what was it, Back to the Future Part Two, when Marty McFly's son, um, what was his name? It wasn't Marty. I don't remember what Marty McFly's son was in the future, which was 2015, right? That was 30 years ahead of 1985, which is when the movie um, came out. Anyway, uh, there's a scene where you know this you know, kid um, walks into a television room, and it's got like 12 screens or something like that. And he's like, all right, I want channel 35, 86, 122, 56, and the sports channel. And so he's doing exactly the same thing. He's doing the ninja thing. So yeah, very very awesome. Glad you could be here, Uncle Bill. You're a great supporter, not only here live, but also over on my Discord uh, server, which I'll make sure to put a link down um, in the description after this show. I forgot to set all that up earlier this morning, so I had to set it up at work, and I don't have any of my cut and paste text at work, and I'm not going to set it up to do that automatically because things can change a little bit from day to day, and it's easy to cut and paste. So, and if I'm not where um, I'm able to do that, I'll put something in there until I can. So yeah, after this live stream tonight, I will put that info the in the uh, in the description below. Come on, come on. I don't know why this thing is having so much trouble. Trouble. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. I know you can. There we go. All right. All right. There it is. It's running. So yeah, let's talk about astronomy for a while. Before I get into that, I had shown you this book. Uh, I don't know, maybe a week ago or so. It's one of the Buckminster Fuller books. This one, entitled "I Seem to Be a Verb," and when I when I when I saw that title and thought about it, it's like, yeah, I do seem to be a verb. I'm, but yeah, that sort of has certain implications, right? Like he's doing more than being, and oh, I think we're maybe probably doing a combination of both. But anyway, I still like the title. It's very awesome. One of the um, one of the things that I pointed out about this book is that it has to be read um, from the front to the back, and then from the back to the front, and that's the whole book. So, um, but what I forgot to point out, and I'll just throw up, I'll toss up a page here. You can see in the middle, there's black type this way, and green type that way. So that part, right? Whoop. So you start at the beginning of the book, and you read the black stuff, and it goes, all the way through the book. Got an itchy nose again tonight. Arr. But it goes all the way through the book. Here's towards the end. Okay, here's towards the end. He's got pictures and things. I don't even know what that is. It's a quote. It's a quote from an LBJ aide. LBJ was Lyndon Baines Johnson. He was president of the United States. What was that, 64 to 68? Is that right? Or no, he took over from Kennedy. So that was 63 to 68. I think he was reelected in 64. But an LBJ aide said, quote, "I'll be damn glad when January 20 gets here." And I don't know exactly what that's supposed to be a picture of. It's it's a little. This is a strange little book. So you read this big print, right, all the way through. But what I didn't point out was that you also read the little print the same way, except for this page. So, I don't know what that's about. There's a capital K in there. There's a capital K, and there's a different number of A's and B's and C's and D's and E's. There's a different number of those for each thing. There's some funny quotes at the end, followed by commas and periods. There's a capital W. Okay, so there's a capital K. Looks like a couple of capital L's, a capital W, Yeah, it's a strange little book. But anyway, the smaller print, if you can see that on the top, it's also in black. It's also in black. And so you read it that way. And when you get to the end, you turn it over and you read it that way. So the whole book is like that. It's 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 like a it's like a round book. So just neat stuff. Neat stuff. That is true Bucky, because he wants to make you think in different ways. He wants you to see things in different ways, and so do I. So do I. I think it's. I think being a scientist, being somebody who is incredibly um, um, inquisitive and curious. Uh, I like to see things from as many perspectives as I possibly can, even if they're a little strange or a little weird or anything else. And that's why, for me, and I'm not going to dwell too long on this. For me, I I have nothing to say about flat Earth, because I have not looked into what they are trying to um, argue. If I, at least in my opinion, if I hear that and I say, "Oh, come on, flat Earth," no, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I sound like a, you know, 15th, 14th century person that says, "Round Earth, going around the sun? You got to be kidding. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life." So until I really look hard at things like the flat Earth, um, I have to keep an open mind, a skeptical mind, skeptical, but very open to the possibilities that we may not know everything, and maybe what the flat Earth argument is just a different perspective that maybe is being misinterpreted or not um, sort of interpreted given other pieces of information. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think it starts with perspective and goes from there. But really, honestly, I mean, if uh, I I haven't looked into that at all, because man, mainly because I have a sense that it's sort of a big subject, and it's something that you sort of have to wrap your head around, and I have to be prepared for that kind of a thing, right? I mean, it's not going to necessarily be a thing where I read a couple of 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 um, uh, um, articles or news stories, and say, "Oh, okay, I understand this," and it's great or it's not great. So but that's science. That's science. I think it's really important to keep an open mind and a skeptical mind. And if anybody is listening who has studied this in sort of a careful way, I would definitely like some pointers to some stuff that you have looked at. Um, because yeah, I definitely want to get into it. I want to understand what all the excitement is about. If it's just, you know, uh, if it's just them trying to get attention, then that's going to be pretty obvious pretty quick. But I I don't think so. They sound, at least a little bit that I've heard, and you know why it's lingered, why this whole thing has lingered as long as it has, Is that because um, the proponents are pushing it really, really hard, or um, are the opponents um, trying for some reason, to look for something to be offended at? So I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, great, great, great book. All of Bucky's books are absolutely fantastic. They will really open your mind to some interesting concepts. Um, his primary book, Synergetics, is like no other book that I've ever read. It's uh, yeah, it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. All of his books are. All of his books are. One of his uh, one of his books that you may have heard of is called Operating Manual for Spaceship Earth, because uh, it it didn't come with one, so he decided to write one. All right, I've got a wild kitty in here, so I'm gonna let her out. Hold on one second. Okay, wild kitty gone. But yeah, so yeah, he since there wasn't one, uh, he just decided to write one, and that was really that book sort of really invigorated the environmental movement of the 1970s, and it was actually Bucky Fuller who started Earth Day. Okay, it wasn't an environmentalist. It wasn't tree huggers or anything else. It was a really, really, really smart modern day Leonardo da Vinci who started Earth Day, because his concept, which is absolutely valid, right? It's we are one planet. We're all here together. There's more than enough um, for everyone. So let's get along and have a good time and see what we're really capable of if we don't if we're not tied down, by fighting or being hungry or anything else. There's more than enough to go around, uh, and that is becoming truer and truer every single day. Right, the closer and closer to when we become a spacefaring species, there'll be there's an unlimited, I mean, as far as we're concerned, there are unlimited resources. Okay, and I'm hoping, right, that when we realize this and that whole thing actually comes to pass, there's going to be a big shift in how we think about stuff, because there there are a lot of things that we're just not going to have to worry about, uh, uh, and that is going to open a lot of doors. It's going to be very, very awesome, and not everybody has to be on board with that. There just has to be enough. And what enough is, I don't know. All right, well, let's get into astronomy a little bit here. And enough of me preaching. I haven't seen any major chatter in the YouTube chat. I'm going to go over to Discord. I wanted to point out, for those of you who are maybe looking at this in the future, um, uh, let me look here really quick, see if there's anything. Okay, that's not all right. So let me go back up. I posted yesterday. thanks to Uncle Bill's pointing this out, I posted in or on the Astronomy Daily Live server on the Astronomy channel a list of the minima of algol for the next few weeks. And so I'm looking at it here, and it's all I can say. It's all I can say is that all of these times are very inconvenient for me. So I think they should change. So I'm gonna uh, speak with those in charge and see if we can change those times a little bit so it's a little bit more convenient. You know, the one the one that looks most interesting to me is the one I think that Uncle Bill pointed out last night. It happens on the 19th of February at 9:26 UT. Now, let's see, the 19th of February is this coming Monday. Okay, this coming Monday. And it's at 9:26 UT. Now, I'm located in southeastern Arizona in the United States, which means I'm on Mountain Standard Time. And Mountain Standard Time, that time zone never changes. So we don't go to daylight time or anything like that. We stay. The state of Arizona is one of the one or two states or locations in the country that doesn't go to daylight savings time. We stay on standard time, and in my case, Mountain Standard Time. And Mountain Standard Time is 7 hours behind UTC, Coordinated Universal Time. So 9:26 UTC for me is 2:26 a.m. on the 19th. And I gotta say, that is very inconvenient. So as I said, I'm gonna talk to the people in charge, see if they can shift that around a little bit. They'll probably be pretty reluctant to do that because it's been published already, right? And once you publish stuff, it's sort of like you have to have a bureaucracy, right? If you've read what's his name's Orwell's 1984, right? Most of the people were involved in a bureaucracy to sort of keep up the current wording of things, and if something had to be changed, well, there were professionals to do that, but it's a hassle. It's a hassle. So I understand that. Anyway, my point is that on my evening of the 18th and morning of the 19th, I am going to with my smartphone. With my smartphone, I can take a 10-second exposure, and that is enough. That is definitely enough to be able to capture algol and quite a wide field of view. And so what I'm going to do, and I don't know why Discord just did that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to photograph this event, and I don't know what kind of time resolution I'm going to do. As I said, that's an extremely inconvenient time, 2:30 in the morning. So that means that the event starts. I don't know why that's doing that. I'm just going to reload it and see what happens. Uh-oh. I'm going to try doing this. Sorry, I'm completely distracted by Discord being very very confused. Server not found. The Discord server has gone away. It's probably my ISP, but for some reason I'm still going. I'm watching my live stream, so looks like maybe it's just a Discord problem of sorts. Let me come over here and try something else and see if it connects. Yeah, it looks like it's just Discord. Anyway, I'm going to record that event. I'm going to try to, excuse me. I'm going to try to record that event. We're supposed to get some pretty intense weather here over the next few days, but I think it should hopefully be clearing up by that date. So yeah, I'm going to try to record that event. It starts to dim, a couple hours before, and then the minimum is at that time, 9:26 UTC, and then it takes a couple hours for it, to brighten up again. So I'm going to try to do the whole thing. Maybe I'll just get the first half. We'll see. I've to be an astronomer, you have to be able to deal with things. If you want to get your data, you just have to be at the right place at the right time. And luckily, we know exactly when that is, and we know where to look. So yeah, I think I might do that. And then what I'll be able to do in sort of a really crude way is create a light curve, like those light curves that I was showing you last night with the variable stars. Um, Algol is a variable star, and so yeah, it'll look similar to that. It'll be interesting to see. It'll look different, right? If I take an image every hour as opposed to every minute. So yeah, I don't think I may not be up to taking one every minute, but I may be taking one up, maybe every half an hour or so during the entire event. Stay up, for a few hours in the middle of the night, and record some light from Algol, uh, and eclipsing binary star. It's got two stars, and one is sort of the primary star, and one is the secondary star, and the secondary star goes around the primary star, and every 2.86 days or so, the secondary star passes in front of the primary star, eclipsing it, and making the whole system dim, get fainter, and we can see this. And so I'm gonna try to record it this coming Monday. And if you're interested in that, hey, drop me a line. We can coordinate or compare notes or anything else. And speaking of which, I wanted to mention that I've picked my first date and time to measure the distance to the moon. So if you're interested in doing that, please get a hold of me as soon as possible, because it's coming up. It's coming up in terms of UT. I think it's February 23rd. February 23rd. Man, I've got an itchy nose tonight. Sorry about that. Let's see. I sent it out. I sent a message out to everybody who responded to me. Let me see if I can find it here. There it is. So the specific time that I'd like you to do this is at 3:30 UTC on the 23rd of February 2018. And at that time, the moon is going to be about 5 or 6 degrees from a star called Aldebaran. And Aldebaran is the big bright red star in the constellation Taurus. It's also, I don't know if it's associated with the cluster called the Hyades, which which is in the same place there. Um, I'm thinking that Aldebaran is not associated with that cluster, but can't be. I can't be sure. Memory does not serve. Memory definitely does not serve. But it's going to be close to that star. So what you have to do is you have to have a digital camera. Okay. You don't need a telescope. You don't need binoculars. You don't need anything at all. You can use the zoom function on your camera a little bit, but what you need to do is that at that time, or as close as you can get, okay, 3:30 UTC, you're going to have to figure out what time that is for where you are, okay, because it varies. For me, as I said, I'm 7 hours behind UTC, so for me that's 8:30 p.m. So that's very, very convenient because it's after this show, and the moon will be visible. Not everybody is going to be able to do this. If you live on the opposite side of the planet from me, say, you're not going to see it. It's not going to be there because the moon is on the other side of the planet. So only people in certain areas on this sphere are going to be able to see this and um, be able to collect this data. But it's all you have to do is just take a picture of the moon and that star, and you got to make sure that both of them are there. Okay. Now, probably in order to do that, the moon is going to be overexposed, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. One thing about astronomical um, data and all the instrumentation and everything, you have to deal with the instrumentation that you have. Okay, and if it's as good as you can use, then you deal with it, and you don't try to hide the fact that, well, it's not perfect and it's not as good as it can be. No, you show that off. Um, um, you say, this is the measurement that I made, and this is my error. This is how far off I could be. So that's a measure uh, of accuracy, and that's really, really important in science, to give those kinds of numbers. Not only the measurement itself, but how confident are you in that measurement, and that's an indication of your error. Now tonight, the drink of choice is dihydrogen oxide. Uh, it's just, I wanted to pick me up tonight. So dihydrogen oxide is definitely an energetic molecule for sure. Uh, in general, dihydrogen oxide is an energetic um, uh, compound for sure. Chemical. That's the word I was looking for. It's an energetic chemical for sure. So cheers. Awesome. Okay, so that's happening on UTC 3:30 UTC on the 23rd of February. Go outside with your digital camera and take a picture of the moon right next to Aldebaran, big bright red star. And the only thing that you have to do is make sure that you can see both the star and the moon. I've got to be able to see them both in order to make the measurement, right? Um, and the only other piece of information that I need, and you can sort of decide how accurate you want this to be, but I need your latitude and your longitude and your altitude. So you can be as close as you want. Rest assured that that information will be kept confidential when the paper is written. that information will not be in there at all. I will designate somehow, I haven't decided exactly how, but I will designate locations. And yeah, the only thing that anybody is going to know is the distance between 2 points. So if you only know the distance between 2 points, that can be anywhere on the planet. So yeah, I, I most definitely will be able to keep that information confidential, and I personally don't care where you live. Just I don't care. As long as you're happy there, that's all that matters to me. So um, so yeah, so I'll need the picture itself, and I mean it can be a JPEG, it can be a raw image, it can be anything. It doesn't matter as long as we can see the star, the bright star, next to the probably overexposed moon. And you might have to fiddle with exposure times and make sure it's focused and blah 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 blah. But you know that's sort of the easy step. You basically just have to aim and shoot, and can't be any easier than that. Email me uh, the images or image. Definitely, I would say take more than one um, image. That'll help in our measurement of precision, right? Because that's what we need in order to do that is a bunch of measurements. I'll compile it all, and I'll I'll actually make the measurement, and I'll do the math, and I'll show the results, and that data point um, will will be combined with other observations that we make in the future. Um, Definitely want to get some folks doing the same thing on the other side of the planet. So there are going to be times that I'm not going to be able to observe it. Um, the, this first time, I'm a little bit biased in that I want to play too. So you have to indulge me a little bit in that. Uh, but yeah, I think that's going to be a really fun project there. So I'm going to go back to Discord and see if Discord is back up. I haven't done a share screen yet. There was an interesting article that I saw on archive.org that maybe I will share with you. I haven't looked at it. I looked at the title, and that's all I did. Haven't really even looked at the abstract yet. So let me go over here, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay, here we go. We're going to go to infinity. So then I'm going to come over here, and it says site can't be reached. You're not going to do this to me tonight, are you? Oh, I'm all frozen up. Am I completely frozen? Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. Hold on one sec. I'll be right back. So yeah, I think it sort of looks like my internet is down. What I'm going to do is get back over here. I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to come back over here and, can I, let me do this. I'm going to adjust my bandwidth usage. I'm going to knock that down a little bit to low. And we'll see if that helps in any way. See if that helps in any way. Technical issues, technical problems, as they say, is great, great, great fun. Now, Google's working okay. I guess I'm going to try to reload my live stream. Okay, it sort of looks like it's back. Does it look like it's back? It looks like it's back. Okay. Well, I hope we didn't lose too much there. You know, I don't sweat the technical things because this is a daily live stream, and if something is missed today, I can pick it up tomorrow or the next day or the next day. I don't have to wait a week. I don't have to wait a month. No worries. We're very casual here. Very casual. Yeah, who cares? All right, I'm going to share my screen again. Share my screen. We're going to go to infinity. And then we're going to go back over to archive.org. Now, if you don't know about archive.org, you are missing out. Okay, these what Cornell has done, and you can see this up in the corner here. This is run by Cornell. What they've done is, you know, once a paper is accepted for publication, technically it can be published as what's called a preprint, and that is exactly what that name implies. It's just a copy of the paper before it's been published, and so that's what all these are. And archive.org is this huge repository of not only astrophysics, okay, but all kinds of physics, okay, and not only physics, but mathematics. I mean, look at all the topics: numerical analysis, operator algebras, complex variables, information theory, group theory, on and on, computer science, okay, biology, finance, statistics, electrical engineering, economics. And these these are papers that have just been accepted for publication, haven't been published yet in those journals, but they're available to us for free. And this really is the bleeding edge of at least these topics. And right at the top, okay, right at the top, right where it should be, is astrophysics. Okay, it obviously should be the first one, and it is. So we can click on new here, and these are the latest and greatest ones. These are updated every weekday, okay, every single weekday, and they are on a UT time scale too. So you can see that these are new submissions for Wednesday, the 14th of February, because in most of the world, more than half of the world, much more than half of the world, it actually already is the 14th. Now at my location, it's still the 13th, and I think for most of the United States, it's still the 13th. So these are the latest and greatest, and the one that I found that seemed kind of interesting to me, and let me get back with the chat here, and I'm going to look at the Discord again, since it looks like whatever the internet problem was that was going on is no longer. Yeah, it looks like I'm coming back on Discord. I'm going to check back over on the chat. Don't see anything on the chat. Okay, that's just fine. So I'm going to come back over here. And the one that I found, here it is. The title is A Multi-Year Search for Transits of Proxima Centauri. Number one, light curves corresponding to published ephemerides. And an ephemeride, um, well, ephemerides is sort of the plural of the word um, ephemeris, and an ephemeris is just a I guess that word is what, like a table of motion. It just it's just a table telling you where where moving things are at particular times, and that's it. So when there's a when there's like a numeral here, like a 1 or a 2 or a 10 or a 12, that means it's going to be a series, right? So this is number 1. So let's see. Proxima Centauri has become the subject of intense studies since the radial velocity discovery of a planet um, orbiting this nearby M dwarf every 11.2 days. So if Proxima Centauri b transits its host star, um, independent confirmation, come back over to my Discord channel, independent confirmation of its existence is possible, and its mass and radius can be measured in units of the stellar host mass and radius. I think it goes on to say that it's there have been 3 of these kinds of transits, and if they list what those are, the detections are tentative due to the variability of that star. As I mentioned last night, most stars are variable stars, and Proxima Centauri is a variable star. So, when it's all you're doing in both cases is looking at the star going from bright to dim back to bright, that could be something intrinsic to the star, like it being a variable star, or it could be, in this case, a transiting planet, a planet that is passing in front of the star from our perspective. And when that happens, the overall light that is getting to us is less, and so it looks like it's dimmer. So here we present preliminary results from an extensive um, photometric monitoring campaign using telescopes around the globe and spanning from 2006 to 2017. So that's like 11 years, comprising a total of 329 observations. Considering our data that coincide directly and or phase with the previously published tentative transit detections, we are unable to independently verify those claims. Okay, so there have apparently been 3 observed transits, and these guys, a lot of authors up here, a lot of people working on this. Um, they've compiled 329 observations that apparently coincide with these detections of these other 3, but they're unable to independently verify those claims. We do, however, verify the previously reported ubiquitous and complex variability of the host star. See, so that's kind of a cool trick, right? You're trying to look for one thing, you don't find it, but you've got all this data, you've got all this beautiful data, right? So what do you do with it? You look at the variability of the star itself. That's awesome. Okay, that's exactly what we should be doing. you know, data can be uh, looked at and used in many different ways. There's never really a case where it's like this piece of data is only good for this one thing. That's almost never the case. Almost never the case. So it's awesome to see that they are doing that. So we also discuss possible interpretations of the data in light of the previous claims, and we discuss further analysis of these data that could more definitively verify or refute the presence of transits associated with the radial velocity discovered planets. So then, see, this is just what's called the abstract. And the abstract is just a paragraph long, very, very brief and general overview of um, the paper itself. And you can see here that it's been submitted to the AAS journals. It's 14 pages long. It's got 12 figures and 2 tables. So it's got lots of pictures in it. So I'm already excited. So now we can look at the PDF file, and these are free. You just have to click on it, wait a couple seconds, ding, 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 there it is. And if you want to save this, you can. This is publicly available um, um, information, and in fact, the scientists want to spread this information around. That's one of the cool things about scientists is that they just can't keep their mouth shut about anything. So here it is. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so we can see it. So this is the same abstract that was on the previous page. And then you get into the body of the paper. So usually in the introductions, they just sort of lay out the problem, maybe the history of the problem, what they already know, what observations have already been made, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's looks like exactly what they are doing here. Um, they always list contact information for all the authors. So if you want to get a hold of the author, um, you just have to, look them up. Some of them actually have um, email addresses, so you can email them directly. And I would say that most authors would be absolutely thrilled to hear from somebody who has read their paper, because these papers take a lot of effort. They're a lot of work. This is, at least months of work, if not more. We know that they looked at data from 2006 to 2017. So this is 11 years worth of data. And then, weeks or months, to write all of this. And, if you have that many authors, okay, it's going to probably take even longer because they all have to agree to every single letter in this thing. So yeah, this paper probably took a long time to write, and then it has to be submitted for publication. It has to be uh, reviewed by peers. So this paper is sent to 2 or 3 or 4 people to read, to look for mistakes and look for errors and look for you know weird things and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of interaction can go back and forth a few times. Um, so yeah, I mean it takes a few months to write it. It takes a few months to get it into a publishable format. Um, but as soon as it is set to publish, it goes up onto archive.org and we have access to it. This is brand new stuff. This is brand new shit. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. So recent claims in the literature. So yeah, so these are all the claims. think they said there were three. I don't know. Claim of radio velocity detected planet in the habitable zone of Proxima by A216, 2016, led to rapid and increased attention to the system, blah, 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 blah. See, so this is interesting because, everybody's all excited about this planet that they have found around Proxima b. But this paper is saying, well, we haven't seen anything yet. Now, this radial velocity stuff that they were talking about, you can actually measure the motion of the star with a technique called spectroscopy. That's when you take the light from the star and you spread it out into like a rainbow. Then you can look at um, um, features in that rainbow that can tell you things about how fast things are moving. So you can actually, if there is something orbiting this star, it's going to pull on the star and it's going to move it in a way that isn't normal or smooth or anything. There's going to be a wobble, and we're able to measure that with spectroscopy, and so we know that something's there. We know that something is making Proxima b wobble, but we don't, at least according to this paper, we haven't confirmed that it's a planet yet. So I'm just going to go through this a little bit. I always like to jump to the pictures first. Here's some tables. So this is just, so these are, uh, I guess this is just, these are just the transit information, pieces of information that we have. The depth of these transits, as you can see, okay, 0.48%. So less than 0.5% change in the brightness of these guys. So it's very, just barely uh, hard to detect. You can sort of see the error bars here, plus or minus 0.09%. That's I'm going to pull out my handy dandy calculator that is always at arm's length and divide 9 into 48. So that's almost a 20% error bar there. So pretty huge. They are looking in the muck for sure with that kind of thing. So new observations. We conducted an extensive photometric monitoring campaign using multiple ground-based observatories from 2016 to 2017. So let's see, they did. Because our survey started in 2006, almost all our observations were conducted before a 2016 okay, so yeah, so this radial velocity measurement wasn't done until 2016, but they've been observing it photometrically since 2006, so they can go back and look. It's known to be a flare star, so it's probably not a very nice place to be around, although it probably looks spectacular, probably looks marvelous. We made observations in Perth. Here they all are. Here they all are. So here's all the telescopes. And here's the size of the telescopes. You see, they're small. Okay. Look, 0.235 meters. Okay. 0.235 meters. I think that's a 10-inch. That's not even a 10-inch telescope. So that's, similar in size, to mine. Now it does go all the way up to a 0.6 meter, but these are small telescopes. This is not, these don't have to be huge, because it's all you're looking for is the brightness of the star. And what's most important, is that you can detect that 0.48% change in the brightness and be confident that that is, a valid change. And then you have to, wonder, it's like, okay, is this maybe a sunspot, or is this a transiting planet? I don't know. Anyway, other pieces of information, just showing, the dates of the observations and the exposure times, what filters they used, and the number of observations. So, yeah, nice, nice. Lots of observations, lots of different kinds of scopes. Wow, we're already up to our hour. I'm gonna run through these though, because I like to look at the pictures with you guys. I'm gonna go over back to the chat here and see if there's anything going on at the chat. Nope, nothing going on at the chat. Nothing going on at the Discord. Good, I can keep going. So histogram of standard deviations. Okay. Results. Oh, so they've got light curves in here too. Woohoo! Because what they were saying in the abstract is that they didn't see what they thought were any transits, but they were really interested in the light curve itself. So I'm really interested in seeing what the light curve looks like, for sure. Of course, they've started putting a lot of the figures and things at the end. Oh, here's looks like some light curves. Ooh, that's big. Let me zoom that out if I can. Can't I? Oh, come on now. Wow, this is being stubborn. I'm going to reload this. You definitely should be able to zoom in and out. Arg, arg, technology. Yeah, did we? No, I guess we didn't lose our internet or anything. Well, where is it? It says it's done loading. It's thinking about it, maybe. What does this do? This doesn't do anything. Well, maybe that is the end. You know, I'm I'm uh I'm totally into, this thing where it's like, all right, if the universe says that I'm done for tonight, well, maybe I'm done. Because yeah, I'm not seeing that. Let me go back this way and reload it like this. See if it comes up this way. Oh, technology. That's a little weird. That's a little tiny bit weird. Don't exactly know why that's doing what it's doing. All right, well, look, I'm just going to end this for tonight on sort of a bummer note, because I didn't get to look at any pictures, and that's extremely upsetting. In fact, I'll show you how upset I am if I stop. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and you can see that I'm just can't see any pictures. All right, maybe we'll pick that up tomorrow, because that sounds like a pretty interesting thing they are doing there. And it sort of allows me to talk about other astronomical things that are related, but sort of fills you in. This live stream is definitely not a classroom. I'm not here to teach you anything. Um, Browser restart. Yeah, yeah, that's possible, I suppose. It is Windows, so But yeah, I mean, it's been a good hour um, anyway, and I definitely respect all of your time, both the live folks and those who are going to watch this in the future. So yeah, I will. I'll try to pick that up uh, again, maybe tomorrow or the next day. As I keep saying, one of the cool things about a live stream that is daily, there's no pressure at all. It's just fun. And if something falls on the floor, eh, I'll pick it up later. No worries. All right, I'm gonna get out of here for now. Um, I can't think of any other announcements or anything. I was really really pleased. I got some pretty nice comments. I forget from who, um, but I thanked them, and you know um, they were just nice. I definitely uh, like to read um, um, comments, especially if they're constructive, useful. I'm you know if you need to be harsh, be harsh, because I'm just trying to get better and better at this, and so if there are some funny things that you're seeing that are sort of uh, at least in your opinion are you know can be improved upon, let me know. Let me know because I'm trying to pay attention too, but and I think as time goes by, I should get better at this. Hopefully, I am. Hopefully, you are learning things and just having fun. That's what this is all about. It's just having fun, um, really enjoying all of this, and yeah. But I'm exhausted again. I'm exhausted again. So I'm gonna get out of here for now. Um, well, that's absolutely true. I can um, at some point I'll have to get into Linux a little bit more. I've been using Linux since version, I don't know, zero point 0.9, probably since about 1989 or so. I've been using some version of Linux. I'm a Unix guy, always have been, always will be, and so Linux and I just work really really well um, together. As a programmer, I love Linux. It's awesome, very very awesome. I can do everything that I've ever um, um, wanted to do, and Linux has been right up there. I mean, it has met me uh, there waiting. So it's very very awesome. Okay, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna get out of here. I will see you in less than 23 hours. Have a great evening and a great day tomorrow. Um, Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. You can turn on the notifications so you can find out exactly when I go live if you don't want to figure that out yourself. Um, Make sure to hit the thumbs up. I think that helps in uh, uh, in YouTube recommending certain sites because yeah, I am looking for a crowd, right? I would love to have a group of a couple of dozen or a couple of hundred um, stop in each day. I don't expect them to show up here at the same time every day, but over the course of a day, if I can get a few dozen or a few hundred views, that's absolutely fantastic. It's we'll be talking about astronomy a lot, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. So make sure to hit the thumbs up. Um, dun, dun, dun. Make sure to share. Make sure to share spread the word on this. I am definitely trying, to make an imprint on the live stream and the podcast world. I think I have found an interesting uh, vacuum that I'm trying to fill. You can call it a niche if you want, trying to fill a vacuum that has been around for a few years now. And I think I found one. Still looking for some traction, getting a lot of support, a lot of great great support. Uncle Bill is one of my longtime supporters. He has been here pretty much since the beginning, I think, and yeah, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Um, and just keep doing exactly what you're doing, Uncle Bill. You're doing great. Ninja style and all. So greatly appreciate it. As I said, thanks for the future viewers who are viewing this later on. Glad you could stop by and watch and listen to the fun. And all right, I'm gonna get out of here for now because I am pooped, absolutely pooped. My eyes are just gonna like fall out of my skull really really soon if I don't get off. So I'm gonna get out of here. Take care. I will see you in less than 23. All right, peace and out.